What's going on, everybody? It's a pleasure to see everybody on this bright and beautiful day. I am Corey, one half of HisHerbs, and we're just some small time, soon to be big time gardeners, growing food in the high deserts of Southern California. So today, guys, what I wanted to do is I wanted to drop in real quick and give you guys two tips that you guys should use when buying your trees, regardless of what environment, what grow zone you're in. You should use these tips to, I'm not going to say guarantee, but to improve or increase the success rate of your orchard, right? To make sure that everything is growing bountifully and beautifully, right? So I'm gonna give you just two tips that I've learned the hard way about, picking your trees, because right now I know a lot of you, like some of us, are putting out videos about uh, big box stores putting their trees on clearance, and I want you to get your trees now. I want you to get your trees. We all do. Grow that orchard, grow that food forest, right? But we have to keep some things in mind when we pick those trees. The first tip is going to be, make sure that your trees are successfully grown in your area, all right? Your growth in your zone, whatever you want to call it, right? Because let me give you a prime example. Because these tips come with examples. So in our area, in the high desert, we don't grow citrus and avocados very well. Okay, there are some people, include ourselves included, that do have citrus trees. We have a lemon tree. We have a Satsuma orange on the front porch. We had an orange last year. We bought lime trees, um, and but they just don't grow well in our environment. Okay, now you have people out here that grow them, and they may get some fruit from it, but they don't get enough fruit to actually make a difference. You get one or two fruit growing off of that tree per year. Now this is the standard, not the exception. We all know that every now and again you're going to run across someone that's defying the odds, right? But this is more of, like I said, the standard than the exception, and that's what we're talking about right now. Okay, so to me, the juice just ain't worth the squeeze. To get one or two oranges or lemons a year after fertilizing and watering and making sure that it has the best possible growing conditions that you can create for it. It just ain't worth it for me. So that's a tree that I'm no longer growing. We're no longer interested in growing up here. It's like I've seen. We have a garden friend that she had to pull out her entire tree. She put it in a greenhouse to try to protect it because she thought it was the wind that was blowing off the blooms and not allowing the trees to fruit and do all that good stuff, right? So she put it inside of a greenhouse, and the thing got infested. So she had to rip her entire tree out, and that thing was like, it was pretty tall. It was a pretty tall tree, pretty big tree. So I felt bad for her on that one too. Um, so yeah, so those are two. That's one tree that we would not. That's not one tree. That's actually like four trees: limes, lemons, oranges, and avocados. We're not interested in growing those anymore. They do not do well in our environment. So if you are in the high desert, you may want to don't don't necessarily buy what's the big box stores just because they carry them. They are not always compatible with your environment, with your grow zone. Okay, you have to do your research, find out what grows well in your environment, regardless of where you are, and buy those trees that are going to give you the best the best chances of production and everything else in your environment, in your zone. Right. So that's tip number one. Make sure that you're buying the trees that are compatible for your zone. Number two is, keep in mind the conditions that your trees are in while they're in those big box stores, right? Because some of those big box stores have a shade cloth over top. So especially in the high desert, if you take that tree out of that environment where it's protected, it's not getting direct sun, all day long, and you try to put it in your garden and expose it to all day sun in the heat of the desert during a heat wave, your tree is probably not going to make it, right? Or it's going to struggle for quite some time, and you may almost lose it. Ask me how I know, right? So last year we hit up the big box store for their 50% clearance sale, and brought them home. We had, let me see, we bought a nectarine, 2 cherries, 2 pears, and a jujube. Yep. So a nectarine, 2 cherries, 2 pears, jujube. 6 trees last year. And currently we only have the jujube, 2 pears left from last year. Bought them all home, put them out in the garden, not thinking about, you know, they were coming, what type of environment they were coming from, and the heat just destroyed those other trees, those 3 trees. So we lost those 3. I mean, we almost lost a pair. We have 2. We almost lost 1, but I was able to recover, you know, save it, move it out of that, out of the direct sun, so it was getting partial sun. It was getting like morning shade, afternoon sun, so that it wasn't as intense. And it bounced back, and it bounced back beautifully. But we almost lost it, and that would have really made me upset, because I'm like, I'm trying over here, I'm trying, right? But we got it. She's good to go. Okay, so that's tip number 2. And I'm gonna throw in a bonus tip for you, right? I'm gonna throw in a bonus tip for you because I like you guys, and I think this is worth noting, right? Wherever you are, wherever you are, go to your local nursery and find out what type of trees they're growing there, because they're not gonna just accept any trees that, if it's a good nursery, if it's a reputable if it's a reputable, jeez, if it's a reputable nursery, they're not going to carry anything that you can't grow in that environment, because they have a reputation at stake, right? They don't want people telling them that, putting the word out there, hey, this nursery sold me this tree and it died. And they don't want to do all that, right? So you find you a nice, reputable nursery in your area. You go there, you find out what trees do well in your area, and you're going to be fine. You buy from them, you're going to be straight. Are you going to pay more there than at a big box store? Absolutely. But number one, you're going to get a tree that would almost guarantee you just to make it, as long as you do right by the tree. And number two, you help it support a small business that, you know, you're not padding some CEO's pockets. You're going to actually be paying for uh, a child's dance class. You're going to be putting food on the table for a local family. So that's just an added benefit to just buying local and buying from the nursery. Okay, so I just wanted to drop in real quick, drop y'all those 2.5 tips to help you have a successful food forest and to grow your orchard so that you can be the best gardener that you can be. All right. So with that being said, y'all know what to do. If you are not a subscriber yet, please hit that subscribe button. The rest of you guys, you've been here long enough to know what you do, to know what to do. And if you want to continue following us on our garden and homesteading journey, please click this link right here, and we will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.